Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. Here we are on the 13th day of February, I wish. I'm wishing my life away. 13th day of January on Friday the 13th here in 2017. Marching on, we're almost 2 weeks into the year already. Hope everything's safe where you are. Apparently, we're going to have an ice storm here in the next 24 to 36 hours. So if I seem to kind of disappear off the air, you'll know what's going on. They're calling for some down power lines and trees and things in the next day or so here. So I may be without a little power, and that makes it hard to get on the air. But we'll bring the news to you as we can. This is the third episode of the day out of 4 episodes that I'm going to bring you this morning. Articles here, there are 5 of them. The URLs are in the description of the video for your convenience. And the first one I have for you is off of humansarefree.com. And it says 72 bombs a day. Democracy and freedom in 2016. Other landmark events that took place in 2016, the United States military dropped a whopping 26,000 bombs in foreign nations. This is hardly good news for those on the receiving end, and as conflict spreads in the Middle East and government pushes for all-out war with Russia and China, ordinary Americans foot the war bill with tax money have some soul-searching to do. Are the values this nation was founded on best shared with the world through violence and destruction? Has American ingenuity in all matters of science and productivity been eclipsed by capacity to exert the will of the oligarchy through the police actions and indiscriminate bombing? Picture here in this of a plane dropping bombs, and it says, if you don't come to democracy, democracy will come to you. Wow. It says, is there ever a moment when enough is enough and we admit that bombing people just doesn't create peace or achieve the aspirations of a free and moral people? As reported by McClatchy, D.C., the U.S. dropped 26,171 bombs last year, 3,027 more than in 2015. According to an analysis of the Defense Department data from the Council on Foreign Relations, a nonpartisan think tank, bombs were dropped in Iraq and Syria. International coalition fighting the Islamic State group in countries and has carried out air operations in an attempt to reduce the area controlled by the terrorist organization. Nearly the same amount of bombs were dropped in Syria, 12,192, and Iraq, 12,095 last year. This amounts to an average of just under 72 bombs a day for the year. And they got a chart here. It says U.S. bombs dropped in 2016. Syria, 12,192. Iraq, 12,095. Afghanistan, 1,337. Libya, 496. Yemen, 34. Somalia, 14. Pakistan, 3. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is that most of these munitions were supposedly dropped on ISIS, a terrorist organization that even members of the U.S. Congress say is being funded covertly by the United States. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is the fact that at present, the U.S. is not legally at war with any nation. Therefore, all of the bombs that fell on nations and people which are not engaged in open conflict against the U.S. And there is a picture poster thing here that gives a bombing list. The Democracy World Tour gives the dates here of all the conflicts and wars and things that we've been involved in. Starts back in 1950, present. It says, how incredible is this? The United States is technically not at war with any country right now, but dropped more than 26,000 bombs in just 2016, and this under a war president. We have an entire generation of Americans who have lived only under a system of perpetual war. The time is long overdue to redefine the issues. And that is a quote by Ben Swan. It says, finally, what makes this achievement even more outstanding is the cognitive dissonance associated with the fact that the U.S. maintains the illusion of being a peaceful nation, and all of these bombs, as well as the hundreds of thousands of bombs dropped in the last 8 years, were done so during the administration of a Nobel Peace Prize winner. This Orwellian doublethink at its best. I should welcome almost any war, for I think this country needs one, said President Theodore Roosevelt. Precedence is enough as it is. The above statement by Theodore Roosevelt is even more astonishing now when you consider the attitude of the defense contractor who view the possibility of the World War III as a potentially great business opportunity. And another poster here says, it has planes dropping bombs, and it says, America has been at war for 223 out of 239 years since 1986. It doesn't matter who you vote for, the bombs never end. 3 world wars planned by Illuminati Albert Pike in 1871. Everything about NWO. So you can click that. That's a link that'll take you to that article. And then the article continues and it says, the American public and the world have long since been warned of the dangers of allowing the military-industrial complex to become such an integral part of our economic survival. The United States is the self-proclaimed angel of democracy in the world, but just as George Orwell warned, war is the health of the state. And the language of the newspeak, democracy is a term we use to hide the reality of the nature of our warfare state. The article I have for you is off of BizPac Review, and it says, anger swells over hushed report. Converted to Islam years before joining the army. Try that again. Esteban Santiago, the Fort Lauderdale airport shooter who killed 5 people and injured 6 others, may be a Muslim convert who took on the name Ashik Hamad. To an article by GotNews.com's Chuck C. Johnson, said that while information is slowly trickling out, the Obama administration apparently wants to keep quiet. Lending credence to Johnson's claim, ABC News cited a source in reporting on Monday that investigations recovered Santiago's computer from a pawn shop, and the FBI is examining it to determine whether the alleged shooter created a jihadist identity for himself using the name Ashik Hamad. Judicial Watch says the Fort Lauderdale airport shooter is a Muslim convert who years before joining the U.S. Army took an Islamic name, Ashik Hamad, downloaded terrorist propaganda and recorded Islamic religious music online, according to public records dug up by the investigative news site of an award-winning California journalist. This pertinent information that the Obama administration apparently wants to keep quiet, bringing up memories of the Benghazi cover-up, in which the president and his cohorts knowingly lied to conceal the Islamic terrorist attacks, the U.S. special mission in Libya. Slowly trickling out that the links in the Fort Lauderdale airport shooter to radicalized Islam, while the official story from the authorities is that the gunman is mentally ill. Hispanic Army veteran named Esteban Santiago that became unhinged after a tour in Iraq. Undercovered in the days after the massacre suggests Santiago Hamad is a radical Islamic terrorist that's seriously committed to Islam. Besides taking on a Muslim name, he recorded 3 Islamic religious songs, including the Muslim declaration, Faith, There Is No God But Allah, and Muhammad is His Messenger, known as Shahada. He also posted a thread about downloading propaganda videos from Islamic terrorists on weapons and explosives forum. The government watchdog group noted that a prominent Fort Lauderdale businessman is now asking questions about Santiago's possible Islamic conversion and why was the U.S. bill Try that again. And why was U.S. Bill Nelson, Democrat of Florida, one of the one to release Santiago's name to the media? Since when does U.S. Senator, not law enforcement, be the one to quickly release this terrorist Hispanic name, but nothing about his more relevant Islamic background? Real estate entrepreneur Jim Morlock asked in a letter to the city's mayor and commissioners. Says Obama must have told Senator Nelson to keep this from looking like Muslim terrorist attack during the last 12 days of his watch. Bad for his legacy. It's also off of BizPack Review, and it says DNC chair candidate believes better fundraising will be the key to winning elections. For chair of the Democratic National Committee, Tom Perez asserts that limited funding is the reason Democrats sustained dramatic losses during the 2016 election, according to an interview with Politico released on Wednesday. I cannot make this stuff up. Holy smoke. Perez is Secretary of Labor under President Barack Obama, and although he doesn't have any campaign experience, Perez asserts that Democrats had a large fundraising problem in 2016. We need to make sure that we're going to the country to build a robust fundraising operation, Perez said during an interview. I was very impressed with how, for instance, Senator Sanders was able to attract small dollar donors. We need to go to school on that because we do have smaller dollar program at the moment, but I know we can do better. With the input from all our stakeholders, we can figure out a way to do just that. That was a remarkable accomplishment. Although President-elect Donald Trump led Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton in a number of donations under $200, Clinton and Democratic election machine managed to raise $1.3 billion toward the Clinton campaign alone. Trump raised $600 million during the 2016 electoral season and managed to win by a wide margin in the Electoral College, but lost the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes, largely fueled by California. For office since 2004 when he ran for a member of the Montgomery County Council. Yeah, fundraising was their problem. Holy smoke. Can you say delusional? Wow. Okay. The next article I have, if I can get this to scroll up. I'll tell you what, Obama, he just can't catch a break. All the way around. I have to reload that one, I think, to get it to properly here so that I can read it. It's off of TMZ.com. And it's giving me fits. Poor little hamster. Running his little legs off tonight. It says, Obama's dog Sonny bites White House guest. And there's a picture of this little girl. The dog bit her right in the face. It says President Obama had to deal with a small domestic crisis at the White House. Family friend was bitten by Sonny, year-old dog. We're told the incident occurred around Monday when the 18-year-old was visiting the White House. Sources connected the girl, or contacted the girl, well, let's try that again. Sources connected to the girl. Yeah, there we go. Tell us she went to pet and kiss Sonny, and the dog bit her in the face. Sonny, a female Portuguese water dog, left a nasty gash under the girl's eye. We're told the Obama's family physician, Dr. Ronnie Jackson, checked her out and decided she needed stitches. She's going to be okay, but we're told she'll likely have a small scar, which upset her. She posted various pics of the injury, Dr. Jackson, on social media. The bite is out of character for the breed, which typically is not aggressive family situations. The Obamas have 2 Portuguese water dogs. Has the title First Dog, and then they've got some video and pictures of the dogs. Oh, wow, man, oh man. Well, she's not really a little girl. She's 18 years old. She's old enough to really be concerned about her appearance, and heck of a gash on her. Have here is off the Daily Caller. And this is a flashback, but important to bring up nonetheless. It says Obama booted reporters from conservative papers off of his plane in 2008. President-elect Donald Trump's team has taken a lot of heat for threatening to kick CNN reporters out of Trump Tower for being rude during a Wednesday press conference. The media heaped on Trump for his treatment of CNN, forcing incoming White House press secretary Sean Spicer to say he would absolutely not kick out news groups for critical coverage. But the media is forgetting that then Senator Barack Obama's campaign kicked off 3 reporters from his plane who worked for papers that endorsed Arizona Republican Senator John McCain in the 2008 presidential race. The Obama campaign did so in the final 4 days of the race. ABC News reported in 2008, claiming a limited number of seats forced it to make a tough decision on which journalist would be permitted to follow Obama on the campaign trail. You don't hear things like that in the mainstream media now. You know, they're not doing any comparisons on what Obama pulled versus what's going on with Trump. Interesting. Like what we're doing here, give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media so everybody gets to hear the real news. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that little bell and check that box there beside the subscription button so that you get email alerts every time I put a show out. That way you'll stay informed.